out onto his balcony. The moon hung low above the palace gardens, its light washing the marble railings in silver. The air was cool, scented with jasmine and the faint salt of the distant sea. He sat alone, his thoughts restless. The words of the Queen Mother still burned in his memory, sharp, accusing, and unforgettable. And then there was Aqua. His brother. The thought alone tightened his chest. The rumors had become harder to ignore: Aqua's drinking, his arrogance, his constant challenges before the court, small acts of defiance that hinted at something darker. Now, whispers of conspiracy drifted through the corridors like smoke. Plans to seize him, to unseat him, to humiliate him in front of the very people he had sworn to serve and protect. The king closed his eyes. His hands clenched around the arm of his chair. The night stretched on, vast and unending, and for the first time since his father's illness, he felt truly alone. In the silence, the drums from the village below began to fade, leaving only the sound of his heartbeat and the distant cry of a night bird. Tomorrow, he would have to act. But tonight, he sat still, a man, a son, and a king, haunted by blood and duty beneath a crown that no longer felt like honor, but inheritance. Then the nightmare. It was deep into the night when the scream shattered the stillness. The king was on the balcony, half lost in thought. When he heard it, it was sharp, terrified, and it echoed through the corridor. In an instant, he was on his feet, rushing inside. The door to their chamber flew open, and two maids, startled from sleep, hurried in behind him. Amma was sitting upright in bed, drenched in sweat. Her hair clung to her face, her chest rose and fell in short, panicked breaths. Tears streaked her cheeks. The lamp by her bedside flickered, throwing shadows that made her look like a frightened child. "My love. Amma, what is it? What is it?" the king asked, reaching for her shoulders. She turned to him, trembling. "They caught us," she whispered, her voice shaking. "We were running, and they caught us." The king exchanged a glance with the maids and nodded gently for them to fetch water. One of them dipped a cloth into the bowl and pressed it against Amma's forehead. Slowly, her breathing steadied. "It was a dream, Amma," the king said softly, his tone a careful mix of comfort and authority. "It was just a dream." But she clutched his hand tighter, refusing to lie back down. Her fingers were ice cold. "They tied us up," she said, staring past him, as though still seeing the nightmare unfold. "There were so many of them."